Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some info about my engagement and my wedding. I thought this would be a really fun video to share so that you guys can kind of get to know me a little bit better. And a couple of you guys have been requesting it too, so I thought it'd be really fun. But before I get into that, I want to ask you guys a question and share with you a little bit about my plans for the upcoming content here on my channel. So in the fall, I want to start doing 2 videos a week instead of just 1, and I was planning on having my second video of the week be a capsule wardrobe video. So this could be anywhere from a capsule combination video to a capsule wardrobe question and answer video, or kind of like showing 3 different ways that I wear a skirt or something like that. So let me know if you guys would be interested in that, because I want to make sure that I'm making content that you guys are interested in and stuff that you want to see. So either give this video a thumbs up if you like that idea, or just leave me a comment below letting me know that way too. Thank you so much for your feedback in advance, and let's get right into the video. So my husband Nick and I dated for 6 years before we got engaged, and we got married when we were both 24 years old. When we were dating and when we were in college, we talked a lot about getting married. We knew we were going to get married, but the proposal process was going to be a surprise, and I thought that would be fun. But I also didn't think that Nick could really surprise me, not to sound mean, but I'm definitely the planner in our relationship, so I usually know what's going on, and I didn't think he'd be able to completely surprise me, but he did. So Nick's sister and I would always go places together and take pictures, and one day in October she texted me, and I still remember exactly where I was. I was on my lunch break working at Paper Source, and I got this text from her, and she asked if I would want to go with her to Big Bear to take pictures. She said something about the tall trees and fall leaves or something, and I was like, sure, I'm down. I didn't want to have to drive because I don't really like driving, especially on mountain roads. So I thought that I would text Nick and invite him on our little getaway, because then he could drive and I could just chill. So I texted him and asked him if he would want to go, and he said sure. Little did I know that they had planned this whole thing, and Nick told her that if she invited me to this trip, I would text him and ask him to drive because I don't like driving. And I still can't believe that I didn't catch on, or that they thought that far into things. And yeah, so they had this whole thing planned and I had no idea. We ended up driving up to Big Bear, and we kind of pulled off on the side of the road, random places, and took pictures. We had lunch at some little diner, and then after lunch we went to this little spot. It's actually funny because it's right off the side of the road by a golf course, and it looks really cool in the pictures and the video we have, but if you're driving by, it's just like literally off the side of the road. But so we pulled up there, and I was standing in front of the camera, and Brittany was, I thought she was doing like lighting tests because that's what she said, but she was actually taking video, and I was just acting like a spaz, jumping around, talking to her, whatever, and I turned to the right to flip my hair, and I flipped my hair to the left, and when I turned to the left, Nick was on his knee proposing to me, and I was shocked. Like, we had talked about getting married. I knew we were going to get married, so it wasn't that I was like surprised that he was proposing, but I was just surprised that it was happening in that moment. I couldn't believe that they had pulled this off without me even guessing. So he was on his knees. I was in shock. In the video you can tell that I'm just like completely in shock, and I'm so glad that we have this little video to remember this moment. I obviously said yes, and we were both very excited. So let's talk about our rings for a second. So we had been shopping around for rings for a while, and I could not make up my mind on the kind of ring that I wanted. I knew that I wanted something antique because I love vintage things and things that have a story behind them, but it took me a really long time to find one that I loved. I ended up finding this ring. It's a really thin band, and it was made in New York in the 20s, and it has these really cool etchings on it, and the jeweler said that they would use a diamond to etch on there, and it's one of a kind because somebody made it. So even if there's other designs similar, mine's one of a kind, and I thought that was really, really cool. Another cool thing about my ring is that I have really small fingers, and so this ring fit me perfectly, and it was the only ring out of all the rings that I had tried on looking for a wedding ring that fit my ring finger perfectly. And because of this design, because of the etching, you aren't able to size it up or down. So I thought that was a sign, because I love the ring, because it was my perfect size, that it was mine. And then Nick's ring is also an antique ring, and his is just a really classic, simple gold band. And then for my wedding band, I had looked for one. I knew that I wasn't gonna find one that matched my engagement ring perfectly, which was fine. I kind of like the mismatched look, but it was really hard for me to find something that was the same height as my engagement band. I wanted them to kind of lay at the same height, if that makes sense, so that one didn't look a lot larger than the other one. So I looked and looked and didn't end up finding anything, and I just kind of figured, you know, that's okay. I love my engagement ring, and I'll just have that be my, you know, my ring. I don't need a separate wedding band. As we were driving up to our wedding location the Friday before we got married, we ended up stopping in this little area of town that has antique stores, and so we just went in kind of on a whim to see if they had any bands that would fit my ring, and I ended up finding my wedding band the day before we got married, and again, it was my perfect size for my finger, and I love how it looks with my engagement ring. So we got engaged in late October, and we had talked before about wanting to get married in June, because we knew we wanted to get married outside somewhere. We didn't know where yet, but we knew we wanted to get married outside, and we thought June would be a great month because it won't be too hot, it won't be too cold. Hopefully it would be just right. So after we got engaged, we realized that we either had 6 months to prepare for the wedding, or we'd have to get married then in a year and 6 months. And although we really wanted to move things along and get married quickly, we decided on getting married in a year and 6 months so that we could make sure and have everything together before we said I do. Our entire wedding was a DIY situation, and it was really fun, and that included our save the dates. So at the beginning, I was thinking about trying to find felt pendants to get our save the dates printed on, but through that Google search process, I found this random website that does promotional merchandise for businesses, I think. And on their website, they had these little keychains that were in the shape of California. They're so cool, and I knew that I wanted to get our save the date printed on those. I feel like it's so unique, and it's something that you can like have after the wedding too. I mean, I don't know if other people still have them, but I know I still have one on my keychain because I love it so much. So we ended up printing just like a custom Photoshop file on the keychain that had our save the date, and then to send them, I wanted to make sure that we had a flat card too, so that it would, you know, like look nice in the envelope when people pulled them out. And so I just took some photo booth strips. We take a photo booth every year, so we had 6 of them from the 6 years that we've been together. And I just did a really simple Photoshop file and kind of cut and paste some photo booth strips, put some text on the bottom, and then used a little glue dot to adhere the keychain to the flat card, put them in an envelope, and sent them out. So that's all I'm going to share in this video. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel so that you can get the part 2 of the wedding and engagement series video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. So yeah, I will see you guys next week, and have a great day. Bye.